All right, Tabernacles foundation. Abraham, the first to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles on earth. So, to get a understanding of where this all comes from, we'll see where this feast originated here on earth. And it all starts off with Abraham. Hallelujah. Let's go to Jubilees chapter 16. So here in Jubilees chapter 16, this is where Abraham and Sarah received the son of promise. They received the son of promise, Isaac, and it is through them receiving the son of promise is where the Feast of Tabernacles originates. So we're going to pick it up at verse 12, at the birth of Isaac. Hallelujah. Jubilees chapter 16, starting at verse 12. In the middle of the 6th month, Yahuwah visited Sarah and did to her as he had spoken, and she conceived. And she bore a son in the 3rd month, in the middle of the month, at the time of which Yahuwah had spoken to Abraham, on the feast of first fruits, on the feast of Pentecost, on the feast of Shabuot, Isaac was born. 14. And Abram circumcised his son on the 8th day. He was the first that was circumcised according to the covenant which is ordained forever. So what is the purpose of the fleshly circumcision? It is the fleshly sign of the covenant. Hallelujah. And he did it on the 8th day, which is a foreshadowing that on the last great day, we will receive the permanent circumcision of the heart. Hallelujah. 15. And in the 6th year of the 4th week, we came to Abraham to Beersheba, and we appeared to him, as we had told Sarah that we would return to her, and that she would conceive a son. And we returned in the 7th month, and found Sarah with child before us. And we baraked him, and we announced to him all the matters which had been established concerning him, and that he should not die until he should bring forth 6 more sons. Continuing, it says, and that he should see them before he died, but in Isaac, not the other 6 sons, should his name and seed be called. Number 17. And all the seeds of his sons should be called Gentiles, and be reckoned with the Gentiles. But from the sons of Isaac, one should become a Kadush seed, and should not be reckoned amongst the Gentiles. For he shall become the portion of the Most High, and all his seed had fallen into the possession of Elohim. So all the seed of Isaac has fallen into the possession, into the hands of Yahuwah. We are his portion. We are his prized possession. And that they should be called a people to Yahuwah, a people for a possession above all the nations, and that they, us, should become a reign, a kingdom, and a priest, and a Kadush nation. 19. And then we went our way, and announced to Sarah all that we had told them, and they both rejoiced, Sarah and Abraham, with exceedingly great joy. Hallelujah. So there goes the first little clue on how to celebrate it with exceedingly great joy. Verse 20, and he, Abraham, built there an altar to Yahuwah, who had delivered him. I want y'all to think about it. This is us being delivered in the times to come. Verse 20, and he built there an altar to Yahuwah, who had delivered him, and who was making him rejoice in the land of his sojourning. And he celebrated a festival of joy in this month for 7 days near the altar which he had built at Beersheba. And he built booths or tents or sukkahs for himself and for his servants on this festival. And he was the first to celebrate the festival of Sukkot, the festivals of tabernacles on the earth. Hallelujah. Father Abraham, the first to celebrate on the earth. 22. And during these 7 days, he brought each day to the altar a burnt offering to Yahuwah, 2 bulls, 2 rams, 7 sheep, 1 goat for a sin offering to make atonement for himself and for his seed. Hallelujah. Are you his seed? Father Abraham has offered for you. He has offered pleasing offerings and a sin offering on your behalf. We must live righteous and do the right thing to receive what our forefather has blessed over us. Hallelujah. 23. And as a slaughtering of thanksgiving, 7 rams and 7 young goats, 7 sheep, and their grain offerings and their drink offerings. And he burnt all the fat, a choice offering to Yahuwah for a sweet smelling fragrance. And morning and evening he burnt fragrant substances. So now you see why we gather and celebrate in the morning and in the evening. Hallelujah. 24. And in the morning and in the evening he burnt fragrant substances, frankincense and galbanum and fragrant gum and spikenard and myrrh and spice and cinnamon. All these 7 he offered and crushed and mixed together in equal parts, and it was all pure. And he celebrated this festival during 7 days, rejoicing with all his heart and with all his being, he and all those who were in his house. And there was no stranger with him, nor any that was not uncircumcised. No uncircumcised of heart. Why? Because we are bringing offerings to Yahuwah on behalf of ourselves, our family, and the nations. Clean hands and pure hearts. 26. And he blessed his creator who had created him in this generation. Hallelujah. We bless Yahuwah who has created us to be alive in him in this generation. For he had created him according to his good pleasure. For he knew and perceived that from him would arise a branch of righteousness for the everlasting generations, and from him a Kadash seed, so that it should become like him who had made all things. And Abraham blessed and rejoiced, and he called the name of this festival the festival of Yahuwah, a joy acceptable to the Most High, Al-Ayun. And we barak him forever, and all his seed after him throughout all their generations of the earth, because he celebrated this festival in its season, according to the witnesses on the tablets of the Shamayim. So This is recorded up there, but Abraham was the first to bring it down here. For this reason, it is ordained on the tablets of the Shamayim concerning Yasharal that we should celebrate the festival of tabernacles 7 days with joy in the 7th month, acceptable before Yahuwah, a law forever throughout their generations, every year. And there is no limit of days, for it is ordained forever regarding Yasharal that they should celebrate it, and they should dwell in booths and put wreaths on their heads and take leafy branches and willows of the stream. And Abraham took branches of palm trees and the fruit of good trees, and every day going around the altar with branches 7 times in the morning, he praised and gave thanks to his Elohim for all matters in joy. He gave thanks to him for all things in joy. And so that is where it is first ordained. The festival of tabernacles, the Sukkot foundation, first established by Father Abraham, the first to celebrate it on earth. Hallelujah. So the conclusion of the matter is this. Abraham celebrated, 1, his son of promise. So we are celebrating the anticipation of the coming of the son of promise. Number 2, he celebrated the physical circumcision and the promise that was made to him and his descendants. And then we are celebrating the fact that in the future, also on the 8th day, that we will receive the circumcision of the heart, as it is described in Deuteronomy chapter 30 and Jeremiah chapter 31, and that we will be his portion forever and ever. He also celebrated his deliverance from Hebron and Lot from Sodom and Gomorrah. And we will also celebrate our deliverance from the land of our captivities, and to go back home to our land of promise, and to reign with him, and to be with him, and to serve him forever and ever. Hallelujah. And finally, he celebrated the fact that Yahuwah chose him, that he chose him to be his friend, that he chose him to be the father of many nations, and that he chose him to be alive in that time to see the things that he had promised him. And so in that same way, we praise and celebrate Yahuwah for choosing us to be alive for such a time like this, to see the soon coming return of the King and our deliverance with our very eyes. All esteemed to Yahuwah, the Tabernacles foundation through Father Abraham, the first to celebrate it here on earth. Hallelujah.